Hello, this is Beverly with the Intuitive Interior, and it's April 2026. It's time for that I Ching forecast. So we start this officially on April the 5th. So we're still kind of finishing up this last forecast, I guess is the word I'm looking for right now as I'm recording this. But this water dragon, we're coming up into the Yang water dragon. And the image I'm showing you from Vicky Iskandar's deck is this really happy dragon just swimming around in the water. Now, when you have Yang water, that is really twofold. It is being willing to plunge into the depths of your emotions. It is addressing fear. It is overcoming that. So this could be a month filled with uncertainty, unwanted energy, unwanted emotions, the things that make us all very afraid. But the dragon, that dragon energy, is the only animal in the Chinese pantheon, the 12 zodiacs signs, that it's not a real animal. It is mythical. It is magical. So there will be magic that comes in. We will find things that synchronicities that just pop in out of the blue. And because the dragon is very focused on social justice, on making sure that it's taking care of the masses, it's possible that there will be some very large global changes that happen this month. The word on the bottom of this is manifesting your dreams. A lot of times we cannot even imagine what is on the other side of our dreams, of our imaginings, of our desires. First of all, we got to admit that we have desires before we can even imagine that. But this is really highlighting the power of determination over fear. It is, again, like I said, that Yang water can be really heavy. It can feel, almost just unwieldy in how much that it can paralyze people with that unknown. With the dragon, this basically it's saying that this is the time to empower your dreams and set measurable goals so that you have a guide to get to your next steps. And this curiosity, again, one of the bigger emotions too that Yang water invokes is curiosity. It is looking at things from a different perspective. Again, dragons can fly above and look at the big picture. So let's go ahead and take that energy and move into the rest of the I Ching reading. Dragon itself holds Yang Earth. Yang Earth is like the mountains. It's stability. It is knowing, what is right and what is wrong, how you can stand your ground. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. The combination of those two together, though, come into this particular card here. This is number 26. It's called the Taming Power of the Great. It shows a man meditating in orange robes. I'm going to assume a monk, and he's really meditating in the middle of his forest. And the words here on it are self-discipline, concentration, strengthen your character from within, self-awareness, and realizing potential. This has Yang metal on the bottom and Yang earth on the top for the hexagram. Again, we talked about Yang metal is what's hidden inside of that Yang earth. So this taming power of the great, it's about uncovering what's inside, what's your inner strength. It's like the first line of my book here. It says the taming influence here is the ability to remain aware while being tested by circumstance. How are you able to hold firm to your ideals and maintain your integrity in the face of challenges that threaten to break down your resolve? This talks about there's going to be a tendency this month as it puts it in here, to make molehills out of mountains, or molehills into mountains. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up. So that you get to be heroic and clever while demonstrating the ability to leap tall troubles in a single bound. Yeah, no, we have to like kind of look back and say, okay, is this really as bad as we're being told, as we're making it out to be? Um, is this an opportunity um, to reap the real benefits of facing the actual challenges at hand? Um, it's all about integrity. It's about transcending your own mental boundaries. And it says here, the mind tends to become fixed and inflexible, and it never likes to appear untogether. Trusting in the flowing nature of life sometimes is perceived as the biggest threat, because the mind often wrongfully interprets vulnerability as inadequacy. And that is, sadly, kind of where we're at. Everybody's searching for certainty. We are living in some very uncertain times. We, yeah, and I actually, got some advice from a dear friend who says, just let it go, and let it be. And then, while that is good advice, sometimes that is also interpreted as spiritual bypassing or disassociation. We do need to be able to take care of ourselves and pull ourselves back, so that we can keep ourselves at a neutral place in order to be able to really assess the situation as completely and as objectively as possible. And be uninvested in particular outcomes. And oh my gosh, that is so hard. I want things to be a certain way. But as soon as we start grasping for things to stay the same, we are certainly going to be hurt and harmed and distressed when they don't, because they won't. Period. Full stop. All right. The next, this I have to share. So we need to have the inner fortitude to not succumb to the nagging voices of a freaked out or unhappy mind. It's a little like training a wild animal that keeps running off whenever you are inattentive, even for a second. That just made me giggle thinking about, trying to train an inattentive mind. So the next card that I'm pulling out here is number 49. It's revolution. And this has the image of, again, it looks like somebody meditating, or at least their thoughts, they're turning into more of a phoenix from the ashes, with a lot of other people kind of looking up from below, as if, oh, they're not happy that this person has some new ideas or thinking about a new way of being in this world. The words here are transformation, a radical change, give up the old to make way for the new, and a quantum leap. All right. So going along with the fact that we need to have the discipline, the not being attached to a certain outcome, because we've got a whole bunch of transformation coming our way. The hexagram on this one is fire, Li, on the bottom, with the yin metal on the top. Now, think about this. When you have yin metal, so think about silver or gold, and the fire underneath is transforming it, it's melting it, it's purifying, it's getting rid of what is not needed in that anymore. And then you have a purified metal to form whatever you want. And so that's what we are going to expect. I know that came up a couple months ago. We're still in it, guys. This is for the next couple of years. We are in the transformation zone. We have, especially these next 2 years, are going to be really, quite a lot more intense, with things, slowly coming into a easier way of flow, because we will have purified what doesn't need to be there anymore. And it's not going to be fun. I'm not trying to sugarcoat things, and I won't. There's going to be a lot of magical things that happen too. Remember, we've got the dragon on our side. So this is again, lots of breakthroughs happening. Um, we just have to become release that grip of what we've been clinging to. So again, remember, just the same thing I said before, we have to let go of what we thought we had before in order to be able to break out and become the next phase of who we are becoming. The focus line is number 6. This is at the top. This is on the social level. This is the macro level. It says times of change can make us feel pretty shaky, and any offers of assistance can be tremendously supportive, not only in dealing with the external chaos, but internally on a new psychological level. You've come a long way. Now give your full attention to stabilizing the new. It will need care and attention if it's to flourish. Think of a baby. That's chaos. Children are chaos agents. I know I had 2 of them. I have still. And they're wonderful, but they do need guidance. They need help in understanding that as they grow, they have to change. They can't wear the same favorite shoes anymore. They have to, go to new schools and try new things. And that's kind of where we're at. So this is going to be a really good month for all of us to parent our inner child with love, with patience, and hopefully with, playfulness. Because I think many of us did not have that opportunity to really play when they were children. Okay, so the next card is number 28. This is the next clarifying card, and it's excess. It also has come up. I mean, trust me when I say I shuffled these cards multiple times, and this is still the theme. It's this person, this man with this incredibly tall pack of bundles, of packages, of burdens weighing him down underneath the moonlight. And there's kind of an egg shape behind him. This is a combination of the yin wood on the bottom and the yin metal on the top. So again, yin wood is like a vine trying to grow, but there's all of this metal on top, these things, the packages that keep that from growing. This is stress, overload, exhaustion, obsessiveness, gluttony, burdens, worries, and the breaking point. Yeah, nobody loves hearing those words, but again, we got to face the fact that we've got some stuff that it's time, whether it's on a global level, a national level, a personal level, family level. There's always going to be something that is changing, that's transforming. This month is, again, finishing up that kind of like that home stretch in school. And so there's, for students, this is a very stressful time because you are finishing up those projects. You are nearing the end of that school year. And it can feel like you're never going to be able to survive this, and you will. You will. Just accept the help when you can get it, and be patient with yourself. This is about doing too much, or even the exhaustion of having too much of a good thing. It's looking at what are your personal limitations, and there's no need for confessions, blame, or shame. By not attempting to stay face, the artificial facade crumbles and all that is extraneous falls away. The weight of all that greed for more can get pretty heavy. And once it's no longer calling the shots, everything will begin to feel lighter, more flexible, and more spontaneous. So where have you been grasping for more? Where have you been greedy, wanting more? Maybe you have enough. It's okay to want more as long as you are also satisfied with what you have now. You are going to be fine. And it's okay to also want a little bit more. So this is focus line 3. So that's moving from the internal processing into the outer world. It's taking all of that internal knowing that you have, and the deep, that again, all of this yang water for the month is going to be stirring up a bunch of stuff. Now you can take that and move into the next phase, bringing that internal world externally. Waking up from a nightmare is much easier than waking up from a sweet dream. But even if the dream is sweet, that doesn't change the fact that the person dreaming it is asleep. You can keep on dreaming as long as you like, but don't complain if an earthquake comes along and tosses you out of bed onto a hardwood floor. Boy, that again comes on the heels of this conversation that I've had, several conversations like this that I've had. There's a term called spiritual bypassing. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the New Age world, if you're in the alternative spirituality, if you're in Christianity, if you're in, a Muslim. If you spend too much time just not grounded and not paying attention to the facts at hand, that the world around you, thinking, well, I'm just going to stay over here in my love and light corner, no bad vibes. And then when things, shift, because we still do live in this three-dimensional reality, you might end up with a really rude awakening. And I don't wish that on anybody. I also don't want anybody to also be living in the land of, oh, this is all terrible and everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket, so I better just, lock myself away. That's kind of the opposite of the whole spiritual bypassing, but it's still bypassing. It's still not looking at like, well, where's the good in the world? There's got to be positives. So find that neutral ground. That's where you're gonna have the best experience. And it's not about not experiencing the bad. It's not about avoiding the good. It is embracing the duality. Because yes, life is going to hell in a handbasket. And yes, life is absolutely blissful and magical. Both are true. It's just a matter of how you fluctuate between them. This difficulty in the beginning is the third card. It is number 3, and it shows a person breaking out of an egg as if they're entering into the new cosmic reality. This is growing pains, doubts, fears, awkwardness, becoming stronger, vulnerability, and inexperience. This has yang wood on the bottom and the water element on the top. And so you have this tree that is trying to grow, and it needs the water from above in order to be nourished, but too much water will wash it away. This says what might seem like chaos and confusion around you or within you right now is actually a much needed jolt. It's becoming apparent that certain aspects of the life to which you've become accustomed are dramatically being shaken up. And whether you like it or not, whether you think you're ready or not, growth is happening. And just as it takes a great deal of energy for a seed to break out of that shell goes away very quickly. That former comfort zone of the cocoon, it goes away. And sometimes it's that struggle, like a butterfly has to struggle to get out of that chrysalis. But that's how the wings form and how the wings get strong enough to take it to its next evolution. It is very common right now to feel very uncomfortable and doubtful, like, oh, did I do the right thing? I think I made a mistake. What have I done? But that's okay. That's part of it. There's no turning back. The landscape will be unfamiliar, but together we will all, there's a lot of other people who are on the path farther than you are. That's when, again, kind of bringing it all back, ask for help. This is focus line 5. And again, that's fully of how you are present in the world, how you are taking this newly formed butterfly wings, if you will, into the world. Impatience is a quality of the ego that wants to prove itself, to leap tall buildings in a single bound, Superman style, and leave ordinary mortals on the ground gasping in admiration. But great oak trees are not grown in a single day, nor is an integrated human being grown by dazzling feats of achievement. It's the small things done beautifully, that make life truly rich. And in the beginning of things, these small things are especially important. Last month, if anybody watched that video, I was really not feeling well. I had the flu. Um, Tested positive, flu A, all of that. It took me almost 3 weeks before I could regain my energy. Um, Talk about difficulty in the beginning. I had to really almost embrace a beginner's mind about how I could be the person that I know I could be. I had to go back into my own little cocoon to heal. And as you break out, there's a whole new level of appreciation for health. In feng shui, the center of that bagua map, the 9 sectors that correspond with different aspects of life, the center section is health. If one of the other aspects falter, maybe your family relationships aren't the best, maybe you're having money issues, maybe you're struggling with uh, having a relationship issue that or a partnership, maybe your career is faltering. If one or two of those little spokes are faltering, you still have the hub. That's the strength, and so you can still keep going. But when that hub breaks, life gets a little challenging. Um, and I definitely had a reminder, wake up call for that last month. For anybody who is having that kind of a broken hub moment, do this and visualize having this beautiful golden light coming into the top of your head. And I want you to feel that as if it is like golden honey coming into your body, and really embracing and dissolving the illness energy, that illness program that keeps you from moving on to the next step. And no, it's not going to take, it's going to take longer than just one visualization. But start to know that this is dissolving that covering, that illness energy that's sitting on top of your healthy energy, and feel that begin to lighten up. Your natural way of being in the world is one filled with vitality and with abundance and with expansion. And sometimes the world gives you an opportunity to remember what it feels like to not have that. This is the time to reclaim that and know that it may take a few weeks, maybe even months, for you to really begin to pull that health back into the forefront. It's that remembering. If you have any trouble with that, please contact me or make a note in the comments. I'd be happy to reach out to you and we can work on that together. The last thing I want to say is, because we are in this yang fire horse year, we have so much fire energy. When waterfall, that's what yang water is. When we have this waterfall energy, it can exacerbate situations and make them even steamier than usual, because if anybody's gone to a sauna where you throw water onto the hot coals, that causes the steam. Expect tempers to flare a little bit more this month. Expect things to really be revealed. Anything that you've been trying to hide from yourself, nope, you're gonna have to come up with answers to yourself for that. If you think you can't trust somebody this month, in the past, this is the month where you're gonna know for sure. Oh yeah, okay, we're good. They've it was just me being paranoid. Everything is great. Or, whoa, okay, I know now I need to cut ties. because yang water washes away all of that stuff. We've seen floods. We've seen what happens to that. It's not always pretty, but it's very fast and it's very effective. So keep that in mind. Stay focused on staying grounded. The earth wants to help you. And yeah, stay unattached if you can and do your best to stay neutral. That's about my biggest part of advice. Because the clash animal for the dragon is the dog, anybody who has dog in one of your four Batsi pillars, expect transformation, expect a shift. Maybe it's in your friend group, maybe it's in your job, maybe it's just a shift in your own personal attitude towards the projects you're working on or how you've been showing up in life. Of course, rat is the opposite for horse. So that anybody with rat is going to have that. That's a similar type of situation for the entire year. But this month will be extra intense if you have dog. But it's only a month. There you go. Okay, thank you so much. I hope this helps people. Have a wonderful April. And again, this goes from April 5th to May 4th. Goodbye.